Tell me about AI tokens. Why are AI tokens a thing? How is that intersecting with crypto right now?
Both of these industries are being built in parallel, completely separately and adjacent from each other. And I think the space that these two industries occupy and overlap at is going to be the thing that really captures a lot of speculative fervor, mainly from the people that like, hey, I want to invest and have exposure to AI, but I don't want to invest in NVIDIA because it is larger than the entire Chinese stock market. There are these two storms that I'm seeing slowly converge together as they learn how to like relate with each other. I'm calling it like a particle collision. Like what happens when you smash the AI particle with the crypto particle?
Well, you got on the screen, you're making me show the Andromeda galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy. I think that's on track to like intersect with one another in like 5 billion years or so. These are galaxy-sized collisions is what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, we have the $2.5 trillion crypto economy colliding with the, probably a couple $1 trillion AI economy. And I think we're going to produce a few $1 trillion as a result of that collision from across the space. And I think it's mostly going to be AI meme coins. And why is it going to be mostly meme coins and not like AI fundamental coins? Well, what do we do in crypto? We just print tokens out of thin air and we name them things that are like related to AI and then they pump. And so there's going to be a few ounces of like AI fundamentals that I think are going to be very real. That's going to produce like the massive amount of leverage that we have to fuel into the world of AI meme coins. That's what I think is coming.
So you think this is a bit more of a narrative trade? Actually, I wanted to show you this. I was wondering if you kind of agree with this. So this is a graphic that I saw in a Twitter thread about attention captured, right? And we have like the serious projects on the top, and this is kind of like a graph. It's a very small sliver. 5
to 10% of the bar.
Right, 5 to 10%. And then we have meme coins that comprise the bulk of this, being like, 85 to 90%. Is that what you're saying? Is that how you are thinking about AI and crypto as we get into this? Is it like 90% meme, but like 10% substance?
That's exactly right, along with an order of operations there. First, it's the 10% substance, which creates the space, the room, the motivation for the 90% meme. Okay. I think there is actually a ton of substance between the relationship between crypto and AI. And that is as a result of that very real intersection, we're going to attract, for better or for worse, mainly for worse, like the scammers, the grifters. Like this is what it's going to be the signal of the top of the market, is that like people realize that they can make a quick buck by like throwing crypto and AI together and like, doing some like ICO, if you will, or like some startup raise. We've already seen froth in the AI VC market 6 to 9 months ago, post ChatGPT launch. And like, what happens when you collide that particle with the ability to mint an ERC20 token permissionlessly?
Two frothy, world-changing technologies that no one understands, and they're going to smash together and create a super bubble? Is that what you're saying?
A legitimate crypto super bubble? A super bubble. Super cycle, call it. Like, I also want to leave room. I was talking to Mike Ippolito about this. I also want to leave room for the potential of like the whole AI world create something like approaching like the .com bubble slowly over the next 2 to 5 years. Something stupid like this. AI is going to change the world. I think everyone has like now realized that. But now the whole AI industry has access to quick liquidity, tokenization events, meme power, like content generation power. Like I think it's going to get very, very frothy.
Okay, so
before we get there.
The context here then is that this is definitely a narrative investment, is definitely a narrative trade this cycle. And also there might be some fundamentals here, but it's going to be a small sliver, a small portion of the value here. It's going to bubble and froth and get way over its skis. This is a graphic from Vitalik, a recent post that he did at the end of January, where he talked about the intersection between AI and blockchain, and they're kind of two separate technologies, but there are some synergies. Data ownership, transparency, monetization, cost cutting, competition, innovation, inclusive. But I'm guessing we'll also create a whole bunch of like AI meme coins that really like are nothing more than narratives, right? Are not actually making use of blockchain fundamentals and kind of this intersection in the Venn diagram.
I think we can also like talk about the blurring of the line between fundamentals and memes. Like WorldCoin, for example, like has a ton of just like very real building going behind it. That is a very real project, has attracted very real VC dollars. And it has done like a very like good job. Like no matter what you believe about the project, they are doing this very hard thing about building this infrastructure to help identify humans on the internet in the age of AI. It is also, Ryan, trading at almost $100 billion market cap. And that is a meme valuation. Right. Real project, meme valuation. And so like there's going to be this blurring of the line between like what's real and what's like hot air. And right now, like we have a little bit of hot air. I think we're going to have a lot of hot air. Okay. First, I want to talk about like why there will be hot air in the first place, because if there's hot air somewhere, that implies that there is a real source of energy producing that hot air. I'm talking about fundamentals here. Like what are the reasons why there's a fundamental truth about the intersection between crypto and AI? First, I want to talk about decentralized AI models. Second, I want to talk about decentralized compute platforms. Third, in order to really strike our imaginations, the road to AGI using crypto as a railway to get there. And then also talk about, after that, the shared properties that crypto and AI have. And then lastly, we'll end up where we're ultimately going to converge no matter what, which is AI meme coins. Are you ready?
Totally. Let's go.
All right. First, decentralized AI models. This is what happens when you have a lot of the properties that we have in the crypto space: open, permissionless innovation, decentralization, moving complexity and innovation towards the margins with the world of AI. I was at this AGI Summit Day, and I was listening to Casey Caruso, who's sitting on the left there, who gave this absolutely banger take, which is that we have this desire to have as many AI models as possible. You know, your favorite line, Ryan, which is like, we'll have as many chains as there are websites, or we'll have as many tokens as there are websites. I think we also want as many AI models as we have like blogs or websites or any like large Cambrian explosion of stuff that we've seen on the internet. AI models can like do almost infinity things. And the more of them that we have, the more flourishing that there can be.
Well, what do you mean by an AI model, David? Like, is ChatGPT, is that sort of an AI model, and that might be different than, the model behind X? What's it called? The
Grok.
One Elon's developing? Yeah, Grok. Is that a model? What's a model?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So like ChatGPT is one model, Grok is one model, and I will call these very generalized models. There can be models for anything, and you can put any sort of utility into a model. Think about a model that has been custom trained, Ryan, as it to be your personal assistant, like your Siri or, your like Amazon Alexa. Like we can talk about like the blue chip fat tail models that are very generalizable, that are kind of one size fits all. And then we can also go down the line of just like, what about like an NPC inside of a game engine, or something like some model about like the weather? Any sort of AI model that can be either very broad or very narrow. But the idea is that with the proliferation of AI, we have more models, and we have a lot of them, or at least we can. That is the world that I would enjoy, especially when like you can start to associate like AI, the growth of AI models, as in the growth of like human cultural proliferation, expressivity. Like how can we leverage the power of AI in more total cases? And so this is the world that I would want. This is the world that a lot of the people in the open AI community also wants. That's open source AI, not open AI, the company. But here's the line from Casey Caruso, who like brought everyone in the audience back down to reality. We want open source AI. We want a wide proliferation of models, custom fit for various use cases. But the tailwinds behind the economies of scale for AI models are very strong. Data monopolies and compute monopolies restrict open AI model development. And so basically, who has all the data? Facebook. Like, why is Reddit going public? Well, because they've got all the data for AI. There's these data silos, these Web 2 data silos, that has all the data that all of these AI models need to run on. So whoever has all the data has economies of scale for producing very strong AI models. If you, as your regular homegrown AI tinkerer, if you don't have access to data, you're not going to be able to produce an AI model. And so that is one very strong centralizing force that AI has. And then the other one is access to compute. Who's got all the access to the GPUs? It's going to have this massive economies of scale that the regular like long tail end consumer experimenter hobbyist won't be able to access. So I think if you like understand crypto principles, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Like we want AI models, but we can't have them because of siloed centralized resources. Ready to go into decentralized compute platforms?
Yeah. So we want decentralized AI because it's just like richer, more organic, more competitive than kind of data monopolies. But it doesn't follow that that's what we'll get just because we want it. You know what I mean? Like you were just saying that these are centralizing, like monopoly forces. So part of me is like, okay, well, game over. Like, we can't just like, make them decentralized just because we want it. Is there some sort of market force that will propel decentralized AI and decentralized compute? Is this part of the theme here?
Well, so this is getting to some of the actual like already existing tried and true crypto platforms that can actually pull that market force down towards the decentralized end of the spectrum. So first you're seeing like centralized AI, call that the Google, the OpenAI versions of the world. But we are looking for decentralized AI. And I think this like decentralized AI narrative is something that's like very ripe to be taken up by society when they learn about how much returns on capital on like monopoly that OpenAI and others will have over us. There's going to be just an interest in decentralized AI as a narrative. Crypto actually has meaningful answers to this. Like some of the biggest tokens that have pumped, and this is when we'll start to get into like the narrative and meme side of the world. Some of the biggest tokens that have pumped in the last like 3 months are all these decentralized compute platforms. Filecoin is up 100% in the llast 30 days. Arweave is up 200% in the last 30 days. Render is up 300% in the last 3 months. BitTensor is up 1,250% in the last 5 months.
Oh my God.
These are all various like decentralized compute platforms that have caught like the AI bug, the AI narrative, like have caught the AI bid. And so Filecoin, you put data on it and it's allowing for permissionless compute. And so the idea is actually very similar, Ryan, to your and my protocol sync thesis. Wherever you can have the most credibly neutral repository of data, it will collect all of the data. There's this thing called a data gravity in the Web 2 world. Whereas like if there are stockpiles of data that exist on the internet somewhere or like in servers, apps will actually migrate towards that data. So it's like thinking of like data as like a black hole. If there's enough of it, the data won't move. Apps will actually move towards the data. And the Filecoin thesis is that so much data will end up on Filecoin because it's the permissionless compute platform for data that just the apps will go around it. And so, Filecoin is up 100% in the last 30 days.
I'm starting to see why the contours of we introduced this as a narrative, because what you just said is absolutely a narrative. It doesn't necessarily have like substance backing it, but like you could foresee a world where everything you just said becomes true, but that's not necessarily going to happen. You could just sort of foresee it. So it's a narrative. Here's a tweet you had us put in this episode today from Anna. Today, models are primarily trained on publicly scraped internet. What if 100 million users contributed their private data from siloed platforms to create a user-owned foundation model? So this is basically the part of the narrative is how do we compete against these centralized data banks like data monopolies? Well, we get 100 million users to sort of combine their force behind a credibly neutral compute platform, maybe incentivized by a token. Is this sort of where we're going with the story?
That's exactly right. I love how you brought up that tweet. Do you think that person's a crypto person?
I've never seen this person, but I was assuming yes because it's in a Bankless show, but you're going to tell me no?
The answer is no. This is not a crypto person. I have 2 overlapping followers. This is an AI person.
Oh, wow.
If the tweet is talking about what if 100 million users coordinated their resources together to get them out of siloed centralized platforms to create a user-owned foundational model, that sounds like a crypto tweet. That is a crypto ethos. And so what the AI world is missing is what crypto has. Like the pushing power and authority to the margins, right? Pushing power to the individual. Whereas there's so much power contained in centralized Wall Street, aka Silicon Valley, aka Web 2 resources, how they have all the power. Decentralized AI is about taking all of that power and like pushing it down toward the margins, but you need crypto to do it. And so like you're talking about like, yeah, that's a narrative now. Well, markets price in the future. And so if people just think that this might be a thing, and also we have just like the markets going up in price and we have an interest in going out towards the long tail. We have the Bitcoin ETF funneling hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin each week, which is acting like a hydraulic pump, down for the rest of the risk on market. Like, this is the storm that is coming. We have this 1 ounce of very real narrative, and it's going to create a pound of like meme coinery. To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.